What's going on, guys? I'm Irregs and you're watching Argo, where I bring you some of the latest card fight content and updates. In today's video, I will be going over some reveals from the past few days, as well as some reveals from the live stream that happened earlier today, and some information that we got in that live stream. So if you guys end up enjoying today's coverage, be sure to leave a like and click the bell button to subscribe for future content. Going into today's reveals, first, we'll be starting off with Shadows, with a new version of the Dark Dictator. He came back from being just a wanky-danky promo to being a full-on card in the trial deck. So his skill is relatively the same, with a minor change in the second ability. His first ability is still the same. During your turn, he gets plus 2,000 for each of your rear guards. His act ability is a little bit different. Once per turn, while he's on Vanguard Circle, you can counterblast 1 to call a grade 2 or less card from your hand to Rear Guard Circle, and it gets plus 5,000 power until the end of turn. Then your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retires it. Now, I'm not sure if you have to call a unit to get the retire option, and it doesn't say you can call up to one grade 2 or less card, but also doesn't say then your opponent chooses, so may have to see the official English translation on the card text before we jump to conclusions about how it's going to go in effect resolution. So moving into our next reveal now, we have a new version of Darkness Maiden Macha. And she also will be the origin rare for the set. So for those of you who are disappointed that Blaster Dark is not going to be the origin rare, don't be too disappointed. OG Macha is still some of the best artwork I've come to enjoy from the OG era, and it's still really nice. And I think at one point Bushi did say that Blaster Dark wasn't going to be the OR, so take that with a grain of salt. He is getting 2 different artworks in the trial deck, and even though they did give Blaster Blade the origin rare slot, there were so many other cards in set 4 for Shadows that just had really beautiful artwork, and Macha is one of them, so don't be too disappointed about that. New Macha's skill is Act. Once per turn on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle, you can counterblast 1 and call a grade 1 or lower unit from your hand to Rearguard Circle to draw a card, and then Macha gets plus 5,000 power. So it's a give and take versus a card like the new Akane, where Akane calls something from the deck versus from your hand, but this card gets a little bit more power and you draw a card off it anyway, so you net 0 off of it versus superior calling something. So really nice, pretty solid, and a little bit more beefy in terms of power, so I like that, and I like the origin rare artwork as well. So lastly, for Shadow Paladin reveals, we have a new Maclear Perfect Guard. So if you guys remember what old Maclear looked like, I think you're going to appreciate this new artwork from him as well. So really solid, really cool, and that will conclude all of our Shadow Paladin reveals. Moving into Dark Irregulars now, we have 2 new Were Beasts. Starting off, we've got a new card called Werebear Verfulger. He's a grade 2 8k with an auto rearguard circle ability that says when it attacks a Vanguard, you can counterblast 1, soul charge 1, and then he gets plus 2k for each card in your soul during that battle. So let's say you have 10 cards in your soul, you swing with him and activate a skill, you'll put another card in, which will make 11, and you'll get plus 22k. So really solid. This could have some potential in premium, but not too sure yet. We'll wait until we see all of the reveals. And then next up, we've got a grade 1 called Werewolf Frillbilger. He is a grade 1 8k, which is nice. He's a base power that's pretty much the same as everyone else. And his rearguard circle ability says cost, put him to your soul to soul charge 1, and then one of your units gets plus 5k until the end of turn. So essentially a soul charge 2 plus 5k to something. Really solid. Again, great way to soul charge. I think this have some playability in premium, but not too sure just yet. Next up, we've got a grade 3 called Terrifying Fist. He's a 12k, grade 3 with no gift marker, but his skill is pretty solid. When it attacks a Vanguard, you can soul charge 1, and during that battle, he gets plus 5k power, but if you soul charge a trigger unit instead, he gets plus 10k power. So easy way to kind of beef up, and since the whole soul charge factor is RNG based, it's a good way to potentially get a little bit more power than expected, so really cool. And then our last reveal for Dark Regulars is a grade 1 called Anomalous Esper. He's a vanilla 7k grade 1 with 15k shield, so making him the same shield value as a critical or front trigger. So that's nice to see. It's really cool. to see them make a little bit beefier shield value cards. So if you want to play a bit more defensively, you have the opportunity to do so. Otherwise, it's just a vanilla grade 1 unit, so I don't see too much playability from it. So hopefully we see some more. We still haven't seen the other triple rare slot yet for Dark Irregs. Moving into our last reveal for this video, we have a draw trigger for Murakumo called Stealth Beast Ahead Panther. So it's just a, or no, it's a front trigger, I'm sorry. It's a front trigger. Ignore me. It's not a draw trigger, it's a front trigger. So really cool artwork. It's just a vanilla trigger, so there's not much to talk about aside from the fact that the artwork is pretty cool. And that will be it for reveals on this video. Our last little topic for this video is going to be about a potential ban list. We don't know what format it's going to be for, but stay tuned because Bushi did announce that they will be going over some form of ban restricted list update in their live stream on August 14th. That will be next week, and it will be start at 9 p.m. So stay tuned for that. That's going to have some interesting information. I know a lot of people, more so in the English format, have been complaining about some of the imbalances in card usage with premium format. So maybe they will address this, maybe they won't. But there was a lot of imbalance going into the first set of V-Era with regards to premium format, as we all pretty much know, and then there's a bit more that's been going on. So interactions like Tarna with Alfred, and then Ichi and Tom, and then you've got Antlion, Phantom Black, and Zoa for Mega Colony, and potentially some dangerous interactions with Ezel and Wonder Ezel going into the ultra rare booster. So, and then an existing interaction that wasn't really important before, but because of the new Gold Paladin support that'll be generic, it may make Raven-haired Ezel really good. And if everyone knows what that combo does, it just makes Gurgu at Helios unguardable with an extra, drive check and power up. So stuff like that, very unhealthy for the format. So if they make some of these major changes, as well as go forward and really take into consideration what they're going to be doing with printing cards in V-Era, we may see a much healthier premium format, and that may make it a little bit easier for people who play standard primarily to really try and engage in premium, because I know that's been kind of a thing where it's either you're on one side of the spectrum or you're on the other, and no one really wants to talk about trying to play both. Some people want to play both, but it's just really hard when some locals are just primarily standard, or some locals are primarily premium, and standard or premium doesn't really have a showing there. So hopefully we see some more balancing where both formats can get some relatively balanced support, not just in terms of locals turnout and event turnout, but also in terms of structure and design going forward into V-Era. So that will be it for this video. Again, stay tuned for next week's live stream, because that's where we're going to see all of the updates with regards to a banned list or restricted list. So if that's what you want to see, check it out. I'll have a link to their channel in the description below, so you can see that next week. They also have some pretty interesting videos on there, but remember, it is a Japanese YouTube channel, so nothing's going to be translated. You're going to be relying solely on your English viewers to kind of help you figure out what's going on in the video, unless you speak Japanese, which, by all means. That's it from me. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.